All right, Cora.
All right. This story literally made me like almost jump out of my chair at work. It did make me completely stop working and have a 20-minute conversation. Tim Curry is back in acting.
Yes.
I don't know this
Yes.
story.
So it was announced this week, and I think it's fascinating that it was announced this week because the movie that he is in released yesterday in theaters, and that is the movie Stream. He is in the movie Stream. I have a synopsis for the film here. I don't know who he's playing. The cast list does not have which character he is playing, but Roy Keenan has been making his work a priority rather than his family. He, his wife Elaine, and their children go to a remote hotel for a weekend, attempting to have a vacation like one that they remember. 4 killers disturb their stay, and Roy must act to protect his family.
He's got to be the dad, right?
No, he is not. He is not a main character. It does not
So it's
look
one of
like.
the killers.
But still.
No, one of
This will
the
be amazing.
killers are labeled as player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4,
And he's
and
not one of
he's
those.
not one of them. Legitimately, like looking at the cast list, he's at the bottom of the cast list with no name on it.
Cameo status.
It just
probably.
Yeah.
it warms my
Also,
heart,
Bill
though.
Moseley as well.
Oh, nice. I like Bill Moseley.
Yes,
Yeah.
so they're the only Bill Moseley and Tim Curry are the only two that don't have a name attached to their characters. So it's probably a cameo, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Perfectly
Also-
fine with.
Met Bill Moseley at a con one time and got his autograph and everything. You talk about just someone who is so nice and humble and opposite of the characters he plays.
Yeah.
But back to Tim Curry. I'm just happy.
Like,
This
okay.
just brings me a joy. When I saw I'll admit, when I saw his picture on Core Stories, I was like, no.
Oh, I would have
yeah.
given a warning first.
Quick survey. When did you fall in love with Tim Curry?
The
What role?
1996 Three Musketeers.
Same. You?
Mainly hearing his voice on cartoons, I would watch.
Yeah.
Fair.
Fair.
Cora?
Hexus from Fern Gully.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
Tim Curry is an incredible presence every
Yeah.
time he's there. He sold the whole Cardinal Richelieu arc, which is wildly different from the book, The Three Musketeers. But also, Brennan Lee Mulligan from Dropout, the
Oh, yeah,
Dungeon
I've heard
Master
his-
from Dropout, got his role on the cast partially because of his Tim Curry impression he did for Tim Curry advertising for a pizza venue, where he's like, hot, crisp crust! But better. And Sam
Yeah.
Rush was like, we need him.
Yeah, I've heard his impression because they had him doing like a Hot Topic commercial for the
Yes!
show, and it's so good. I was taken like
He's got his vocality, like, and his presence, like,
yeah.
it's so good.
One place not destroyed by capitalism.
I think he's definitely one of those people,
Space.
like, as someone that
Space.
grew up watching a lot of animation and learning about voice actors,
Yeah.
he was probably my most recognizable. Next to, like, Mel Blanc back in the day.
Yeah.
And Brian
But you
Blessed.
would hear
Yeah.
Tim Curry voice a character, and you would know that's Tim Curry. And it was one of those things, I knew the voice before I knew the man behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So once I found out who it was, he's voiced like every villainous character that I grew up with. So yeah, he was definitely one of those people that I knew the sound of him before I knew exactly who he was.
What
And I think it was Legendary, which I think was the first thing I saw him in.
Yeah.
What I find funny is I watched Mighty Max, where he was the villain.
Mm.
I watched Fern Gully, where he's the villain. And I watched Home Alone 2, where he's kind of the villain. And I never once, because my brain is small, connected that they were the same person, but they sounded so similar. And it wasn't until I was in high school and fell in love with him from something live action I saw. I can't even remember what specifically. And I went down his like list, and I just
Was
went.
it Clue?
It was Clue. It was Clue.
Somehow
I
I
know
knew,
he's
as
amazing
much
in
as
Clue.
you've talked about Clue,
Yeah.
and as much as a driving force he was in that movie, I was kind of shocked she hadn't said it by now.
Yeah.
Because I saw Fern
I
Gully
expected
first.
it to be one of your introductions. Like, I was a little young for Rocky
Okay.
Horror. I've seen it as I've gotten older, and I
Yeah.
love his performance in that, but it's not how I knew him.
And we've talked
But
about
clearly
great voice actors, but man, the body of his work in animation is up there.
It's incredible.
So
There's
this is
a lot
awesome.
of you
I
out
just,
there
I'm happy
who
for this.
probably, on some level, know it's Tim Curry, but haven't connected him.
Yeah.
I've seen Fern Gully, like, once, decades ago. I didn't recall that, but I remembered that the bad guy was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his song in that movie's still good. Still great.
Oh,
So,
amazing.
yeah, we're all just have to stop the show for 20 minutes.
Stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he did have a stroke in 2012, and he is wheelchair bound. I'm sure that will, like, hinder some of his performance and why he's probably more of a cameo. But he's done a lot of healing with it. He said his humor has been a big part of that, which I appreciate. I have a quote. It's not hard to maintain. It's in my DNA.
Oh.
Good
Yeah,
quote.
that makes
Good
sense.
quote.
If you're born with Tim Curry's face and Tim Curry's voice, you have to have a sense of humor to be an actor with
Yeah.
that. Like, he leaned into it in the best way, and I'm super happy for him. Hope he does exactly as much is good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. My big thing is, like, do as much as you want as long as you actually can and are not pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Also, one thing we did forget, he was in the original cast for Spam-A-Lot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He just fits
He's amazing.
Yeah. He was
in Monty
King Arthur.
Python.
He really
Like,
He seamlessly.
he's the American Eddie Izzard, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I know Eddie Izzard wasn't Monty Python, but just like,
Yeah.
he's the American Eddie Izzard.
does. Down to the gender is sometimes a thing.
Fluidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extreme fluidity.
Yeah, just like, oh, we're gonna play with that.
I'm
That
a girl
sounds like fun.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yay, Tim Curry's in a horror movie. This
Love it.
movie is in theaters. It's pretty limited, though. Like, our local theaters have it, but one time.
Yeah.
Like, I was checking it to see. The closest theater for us, 9:55. That is the only showing they have
Rough.
for this movie.
No.
It was a movie funded through, like, Indiegogo. So, like,
Yeah. That makes
it is a crowd-funded movie. That's not surprising. The director for the movie is the same director that did the Terrifier movies. So I'm I'm a little nervous to see it because,
They're
like,
scary.
well,
and
no.
a lot.
I don't find Terrifier scary so much as I find it disgusting.
Yeah.
I am disgusting in creative ways because
Schlocky.
I am impressed with the ways that they decided to kill the characters. I appreciate that creativity and the effects that go into making those because they did practical effects.
Yeah.
Aside from that, disgusting. I watched someone else tell me about the Terrifier movie.
I've seen the first one.
I fucking love gory practical special effects. And
Yeah.
I don't think I appreciate them as a fan, which feels different. I think I mostly
Yeah.
appreciate them as a filmmaker. But I've found new love in being a DM and describing
Yeah.
gross stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cutting a girl with a chainsaw from the
just up the middle.
up. Yeah, up the middle.
A word
No.
that I don't think we've shown. We said
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't.
show,
I'm not
like,
gonna
a
say.
And
punch.
see,
Yeah.
That's the one that I found the most interesting practical effects
Yeah.
wise because that was the big one practical. But
I have to disseminate
Yeah.
them and take them apart. I can't
Like, we
watch
can't
certain
say
that
horror
in this
movies.
context.
yeah,
You
but
can't say disseminate in this
Yeah.
context.
No, I
Any-
do that on my own time. Thank you.
anyway, I wanted to throw that caveat out there just in case because again, I
Sure.
don't know what this movie is going to be.
Yeah.
It is a slasher film, so there is the potential, but I don't think it's going to get as bad as Terrifier.
Yeah.
If you're
But no, the
body
director goes hard.
horror
Yeah.
phobic, like,
Yeah.
approach it with caution.
And
For sure.
please understand that I say I don't think. I'm not saying for certain that it's going to be.
For sure.
You know your triggers,
less.
look them up.
Yeah. Like, since this will be its first weekend, maybe, like, check some reviews before going to see it if you're worried about it being a problem.
Yeah.